Hi everyone, this is our channel, Meet the Real Story. Please like, share and subscribe.
Suddenly my eyes opened, and I found myself in the middle of a forest. It was a dark, moonless night, and I had no idea how I got here. I looked around, and all I could see was trees and darkness. I could hear low sounds of different animals, and some shining eyes behind the bushes. I knew I was trapped. I didn't know where to run. I tried to get up and found out that my legs were tied. I could feel as if the trees were staring at me. I tried to release my legs from the strong clutches, but the more I tried, the more I was getting tangled. I looked around for anything that could help me in escaping, but there was nothing. I was still confused. I had never been to this place before. I couldn't find a way to escape, but suddenly I saw someone in front of me. Who are you? The figure stood there silently, looking back at me. Are you? Before I could complete my sentence, she flew near me and looked me right in the eyes. She slowly tilted her head towards the left, then to the right. Her face had the innocence of a child. She had pretty eyes, sharp nose, and beautiful lips. She did not say anything, and in a flash she swept me away from that location, and we were standing near a lake. I knew that place. This lake was near my town. I thought to myself, what was I doing here? And who is she? I couldn't understand what was happening, but suddenly she came closer to me, and her face changed. Big hollow eyes and nose, and a mouth wide open. Her face was entirely wrinkled, and her clothes changed from pure white to pitch black. She came closer to me, and she let out an ear-deafening scream. I could not bear it and fell down to the ground. After that, my eyes opened. I was lying on my bed, sweating. It was 2 a.m. in the morning. I got up from bed and went to the kitchen to get some water. Then I realized that someone was behind me. I stood still for a moment. I could see a dark shadow behind me. I tried to look for a reflection of what was behind me, and there was nothing. As I turned around, I saw someone standing in the corner. I shook in fear. It was the same lady who appeared in my dream. But was that a dream or is this a dream? I just wasn't sure anymore. The lady came closer to me, and I could see her face. She had tears in her eyes, and she wanted to say something. What is it? I asked her, and then she disappeared. And then my eyes opened, and I realized I was dreaming again. I got up and I checked the kitchen. After that, I went back to bed, but I couldn't sleep. I realized the sun was starting to come out. I got up and had my cup of coffee and started getting ready for work. I had my first dream when I was 5. I was so afraid and depressed that I had to be taken for counseling. But the dreams never stopped, and I made a pact with them. I started to realize that these are not some normal dreams. I could see what others could never see. I had vision. My counselor dismissed it as bad nightmares. I was on medications for a long time, but still the dreams kept on coming. That was when I understood what those dreams were. One evening, I was coming back from my friend's place when I saw some police cars in front of a house. I stopped over to see what happened. I saw the police taking a middle-aged man in handcuffs. What's happening? I asked the person standing next to me. I don't know much, but heard the police are taking him for questioning for the murder of his wife. He reported her missing a few days ago. I used to see this man every day going to work like nothing had happened. And today I came to know he could have murdered his wife in cold blood. The police marked the entire area as a crime scene. I stood there for some time and started to think about the lady. She never came outside. Only one time I saw her standing outside in the balcony. All of a sudden, her husband came and shouted at her to go inside. I looked at the house, tried to remember the face of the woman, and suddenly I realized I had seen her in my dreams. And it was not a nightmare. I ran back home, and after some hours, I had a rough sketch of my dream. I called my friend Lily and told her everything. Lily decided to help me, and so together we made a document and posted it to the police station where the case was being investigated. I indicated the location of the dead body. A few days later, the police found her dead body at the bottom of a lake. It was an old lake and it was surrounded by wild animals. Her husband was either brave or a psycho who dragged his wife's body to this lake. Now that the police found her, they could link him to the murder and have him punished for it. That was only the beginning of my adventure. After that, Lily and I were able to identify many cases and would always inform the police. However, we always preferred to stay anonymous. A lot of time had passed, and I still had those visions. But this time, the visions seemed to be persistent. It was different. I felt like I was constantly trapped in a dream inside a dream. I work as a hardware service manager. I prefer spending time with machines rather than people. I have no friends at work, and people in the office have always thought of me as the strange girl. However, people come to me for support all the time, as I'm the best at my job. That day, I tried to focus as hard as I could, but my mind was clouded because of last night's dream. I had to talk to Lily. And I texted her, "Meet me at our place at 8 p.m. tonight. I have a new one." She replied, "Okay, see you at 8. We met at the bar and it was overcrowded. We sat in the corner. I started talking. "Listen, Lily, this is serious. I know the lake." This was the same lake where the police had found her. Lily looked a bit surprised. She said, "Are you sure, Emma? How can that be possible? No one visits that place." And I replied, "Exactly. That made the place a perfect spot for someone to dispose a dead body." And then Lily said, "So, what do you intend to do? Should we inform the police?" I thought for some time and said, "Let's go there ourselves. I don't know, but I have a feeling that this is not just a murder case." Lily looked a bit surprised and shocked. "Are you sure? We have stayed anonymous and we have helped the police solve so many cases. Why should we risk ourselves this time?" I replied, "Listen, Lily, I understand your concern, but this time I feel like we have to get involved and solve it ourselves." And then Lily said, "We should think about it again before moving forward." I said, "I thought about everything, and tomorrow we are visiting that place." Tomorrow finally came, and we went. We looked around and started to move forward. Lily said, "I'm really starting to think that was a bad idea." I remained quiet and tried to concentrate. We moved past trees, overgrown grass, and hanging vines all over. We cut through the vines and moved towards our destination. After some time, we reached an open area, and there we found the lake. We stood by the lake and tried to look inside. "I have to go inside," I said. "Are you mad, Emma? Let's call the police and get this over with." Lily protested. I replied, "I'm sorry, I just have to do what I have to do." And I dived into the lake. I went a little deep inside and tried to look for any clue that could help me. After some time, I was gasping for air. I came out of the lake, sat on a rock, and said nothing. "What is it, Emma? Did you find anything?" Lily asked. "I don't know, but I felt like there was something in there." "We should talk to the police. You were right." I sounded desperate. "Hello, officer. How are you?" Officer Brandon was surprised to see us. "So, finally we met in person. I never expected that I would be meeting you both. My friend at the station says good things about you two." "By the way, who among you calls me?" Brandon asked. "I do, officer. She's my friend Lily. Anyways, I would like to tell you how I was able to solve those previous cases. And after that, I would like your help on a new case." I sounded confident. Brandon asked, "So why did you not do it the old-fashioned way?" I hesitantly replied, "Well, this case is different. I think the spirit wants me to solve it." Brandon let out a huge laugh. "What did you say? Spirit? Are you trying to scare me, kid?" I replied, "I know you won't believe me, but let me explain." I told him about my past experiences and how I came to understand my dreams and used them to solve crimes. By the end of my speech, Brandon was sweating, and he said, "What do you want from me?" I let out a faint smile and said, "I need information about a missing girl." Officer Brandon replied, "Sorry, I can't help you with that. Even if I have information, I cannot provide you with it." I begged him, Please, officer, it's really important. At least if we can go through some pictures of all the missing girls, we would be very grateful. After some deep thinking, Brandon said, All right, I'm only helping you because of the times you helped the police. Come to the station tomorrow at 10, and I'll show you some pictures. But only pictures, and after that, you're on your own. I excitedly said, Done, officer. See you at 10. We went to the station at exactly 10 a.m., and without wasting any more time, Brandon showed us the pictures. Suddenly I saw a picture, and my mouth dropped wide open. That's the girl, officer. Who is she? Brandon looked at the picture and went outside to bring the file. He didn't want others to know about this unofficial investigation. After some time, he came back with a file. He started to read it. Her name is Eva. Her husband had come here a few days ago to lodge an official complaint about her. She had gone to her office and never came back. Her husband has been coming here every day to ask for an update. Now I think we all know what happened to her. I said, Yes, officer, but why was she so determined about me going ahead with solving the crime? I think the entire crime can be solved once we go to that place. Do you know the place? He asked, and I said, Yes, officer, let's go. It took hours for the entire lake to be searched. They found 7 dead bodies inside it. The entire team was shocked. This was not some murder case. This was a case of a serial killer. Officer Brandon came to me and said, I think this is why that spirit was asking you to solve it. It seems like a case of a serial killer. We all went back to the station and the officer told us, The autopsy reports are in. We were able to identify all the bodies we found in the lake. We told all their families, but now what matters is, who is doing this? We would like to help you with it, I quickly replied. Brandon looked at me and said, Apart from dreaming, how else could you help? And so, we decided to work unofficially on the case. I needed to find something common between all the cases. Lily and I sat together and went through the files. With the help of Brandon, we were able to retrieve some things from surveillance cameras. It was a long process, but we knew we would find something. Meanwhile, Brandon was under a lot of pressure from his seniors and the media to solve the case. The police had issued a code red in the city against this unknown criminal. Round-the-clock surveillance had increased. The lake area was seized and thorough investigation was being conducted to find clues. Lily and I had our brains fried over finding the link between the murders. We were also going through the tapes to see any links but failed to do so. Out of nowhere, Lily's eyes flashed, and she started writing something on her notepad. Hey Emma, look what I found. I looked at her notepad, and I was surprised. I called the officer and said, Sir, we need to see you. I think we found the link. If you guys want to know how I solved the mystery, and how come Lily had a vision and not me, please let me know in the comment section.